It's Democracy Day today, as Fagun 7, as per the Nepali calendar year, is observed as the Democracy Day. However, 7 decades since the historic day, the focus of the country still lies in providing basic facilities to the general public. It means that despite all the achievements gained, the country has failed to gain desired momentum in terms of peace, prosperity, and well-being. Good evening, I'm Abhyuday Shrestha, and these are the headlines of the hour. Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal calls for historic, broader national consensus on the occasion of Democracy Day today. The Premier says the government active in transforming the people's lives. CPN Maoist Center General Secretary Gurung emphasized on consensus for the president candidate. UML Chair Oli says Maoists will stand by their side for presidential candidates. The US and South Korea hold a joint air drill involving strategic bombers a day after North Korea fired a Hwasong-15 intercontinental ballistic missile in a sudden launching drill. And India clinched the second Delhi test against Australia by 4 wickets. Aussies failed to impress against Indian spinners yet again, lead the 5-test series 2-0. Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal has said that there is need for a historic, broader national consensus. Speaking at a function held at the capital's Tunikhel today on the occasion of the 73rd Democracy Day, Premier Dahal stated that national consensus is needed to build a socialism-oriented economy and achieve inclusive economic prosperity. He also said that the government was active in transforming the people's lives with the change in political scenario. President Bidyadevi Bhandari, Vice President Nanda Bahadur Poon, high-ranking officials, government officials, among others, were present at the function held on the occasion of the 73rd Democracy Day. Helicopters of the Nepal Army sprinkled flowers in Tunikhel during the function. On the occasion of Democracy Day today, the President, Prime Minister, and leaders of political parties have extended best wishes to the public. Former King Gyanendra Shah has also proposed to extend cooperation to the political parties. Following the end of 104-year-long autocratic Rana regime, democracy was established in Nepal on 7th of Fagun 2007 Bikram Sambat as per the Nepali calendar. Several programs are organized to mark Democracy Day on 7th of Fagun each year. Despite the lapse of 7 decades since the establishment of democracy, the public are yet to witness political stability and economic prosperity in the country. During the movement for democracy, Nepali nationals had aspired for political stability with economic revolution and prosperity. However, after 7 decades of the establishment of democracy, the nation has just begun witnessing political stability, but prosperity continues to remain a distant dream. Political parties that had fought for democracy continue to define the Constitution with the objective of suiting their interests and are yet to ensure internal democratic practices themselves. In addition to the absence of stability among the political parties themselves, leaders and members have formed factions to serve their own ambitions. While the nation has seen transformation from democracy to republicanism, parties and leaders have been involved in ploys and conspiracies to dissolve the House and topple their own governments. While the leaders continue to prioritize power, democracy as envisioned by the public is yet to be institutionalized. It is also the role of the public to keep the political parties in check to strengthen democracy and hold the parties accountable. However, the political parties seem to be limited to keeping their cadres content while ensuring their own gains. In addition to the legislative and executive, even the judiciary has been drawn into several controversies in these 7 decades. While the nation celebrates the Democracy Day on Fagun 7 each year, public have yet to feel the promised transformation in their daily lives and national economy. In the 72 years of establishment of Democracy Day in the country, Nepal has witnessed several political transformations. Countries like Malaysia and Korea that became independent after 2007 Bikram Sambat have achieved significant economic and development success. However, Nepal's economic development has remained at snail's pace. Instead, the national economy depends on the remittance sent by the Nepali immigrant workers from these countries. At a time when the government is celebrating Democracy Day, more than 1,500 youths left the country to seek employment opportunities elsewhere Saturday alone. A mass of productive Nepali workforce has been compelled to seek opportunities elsewhere in countries including Malaysia and South Korea, as the nation is yet to achieve the aspired economic prosperity even in the 7 decades of establishment of democracy. The per capita income of Malaysia, which became independent from the British rule in 1956, now stands at over 3.3 million, while that of South Korea figures 5.1 million. China and India have been successful in increasing their per capita income twofold within a very short period of 15 years. However, the per capita income of Nepal has remained at 1,100. Nepal's economic growth rate was limited between 2% and 5% in the past decades, while the nation failed to invite investments required for economic transformation. In addition to the lack of political stability in the past 30 years, aspired development was not achieved also because of the failure of the governments. The 15th plan aims to create 500,000 new jobs every year and uplift Nepal as a developing nation. However, the state operators have failed in ensuring the effective implementation of the plan. CPN Maoist Center General Secretary Dev Gurung has said that the president candidate should be chosen on the basis of consensus to safeguard nationality, constitution, and political stability. At a press conference hosted by Press Center Kaski in Pokhara today, the Maoist General Secretary said that the need of the hour was to opt for a consensus presidential candidate to thwart what he said the aspirations of the power blocs. In a different context, Gurung said that the call made by the former King Gyanendra Shah on the occasion of Democracy Day for collaboration held no meaning. Citing that political forces can come together for the sake of democracy, nationality, and constitution, but he elaborated that there was no possibility of any cohesion with the former king. Chairperson of CPN-UML, KP Sharma Oli, has said that the party not receiving cooperation from CPN Maoist Center in the upcoming presidential election is beyond his imagination. Speaking to the media at Biratnagar Airport today, Chairperson Oli stated that an agreement regarding the election of the president had been reached when the current government was formed. Oli reiterated that the CPN-UML candidate would be the next president of the country. Chairperson Oli also informed that the CPN-UML candidate for the president would be decided before 25th of February, the date to file the candidacy for the presidential election. In a different context, Oli said that former King Gyanendra Shah's proposal made today on the occasion of Democracy Day to extend cooperation to the political parties has no significance. Chairperson of CPN Unified Socialist Madhav Kumar Nepal has said that the present coalition of 7 parties was not the verge of disintegration. Inaugurating the meeting of the Standing Committee, Chairperson Nepal said that the alliance was on the verge of collapse due to the Rashtriya Swatantra Party. Nepal added that the country would only take a political course after the election of the president. Nepal said that UML chairperson was now apprehensive regarding new political equation that could be adopted by CPN Maoists by taking Nepali Congress and Unified Socialist into confidence. He also urged the leaders of its student wings and political cadres to work for further strengthening the CPN Unified Socialists. Nagrik Unmukti Party's lawmaker Arun Chaudhary has been released from Kailali prison today. Chaudhary was released from jail after he was pardoned by the president. President Bidya Devi Bhandari on Friday pardoned 395 convicts and those serving jail terms as per the government's recommendation on the occasion of Democracy Day. Chaudhary was arrested for arson. The Kailali District Court had ordered 3 people, including Chaudhary, to 6 months imprisonment on April 22, 2013 for setting a tractor on fire on August 19, 2009. Police had arrested Chaudhary on 3rd of February because he had yet to serve the jail term associated with his conviction. According to police, he had been absconding for a decade. Although Chaudhary was released from jail after receiving a pardon from the president, Bir Bahadur Chaudhary, who was arrested in the same case, is still serving time in jail. After Arun Chaudhary was released from jail today, he was welcomed by Nagarik Unmukti Party chairperson Ranjita Shrestha. The health condition of Nepali Congress parliamentarian Chandra Bhandari is improving. Doctors treating Bhandari, who is receiving treatment in a hospital in Mumbai, India, have said that his health is slowly coming back to normal. The amount of artificial oxygen being given to him has also decreased, while his lung has started to function well. Bhandari's aide, Madhav Neopane, has informed that preparations are being made to remove him from the ventilator tomorrow. Bhandari and his mother, Harikala, were injured on Wednesday night at their residence in Buddhanagar, Kathmandu, when a cooking gas exploded. Bhandari's mother had succumbed to her injuries on Thursday morning. Welcome back. 40 people have been injured in a bus accident at Darnakonak in Pokhara Metropolis 27. The bus traveling to Pokhara from Begnas Lake met with the accident when it flipped over at Darnakonak. The District Police Office Kaski has informed that some of the injured are in critical condition. The injured are being treated at Pokhara Health Science Academy. Kantipur Publications has completed the third decade of its journey today and has stepped into the fourth. In a country like ours, where the democratic space opened up rather late and is still not fully open, Kantipur has overcome many challenges to continually play the role of the leading media house for 30 successive years. Globally, the trend of misinformation, disinformation, and populist politics is thriving, of which some evidence can also be seen even in our own country, saying that no professional media organization could afford to forsake its responsibility of giving reliable news and balanced views in this situation. Kantipur has shared its commitment of remaining steadfast to always standing in favor of what is right and true and never compromised. Sharing his greetings on the occasion, Chairperson and Managing Director of Kantipur Media Group, Kailash Siroya, has said that Kantipur has wholly embraced the spirit of democracy, federalism, and republicanism. India has agreed to allow Nepal to proceed with the expansion of transmission line and export electricity to Bangladesh. The southern neighbor has expressed optimism towards the power export deal, which once officially signed will pave way for Nepal to sell the electricity produced from the 52-megawatt Likhu hydropower project to Bangladesh. Likewise, an agreement has also been expected to sell electricity to India through transmission lines across Mahendranagar. Secretary for the Ministry of Energy, Water Resources and Irrigation, Dinesh Ghimire, has said the capacity of 600 megawatt transmission line in Dhalkebar, Muzaffarpur will be raised to 800 megawatts, and that Nepal and India have agreed to proceed with the construction of Inarwa, Purnia and Lamki Beladi transmission lines that will have a capacity of 2,000 megawatts each. These agreements will be officially signed during Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal's India visit. It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
What do you think of the failure to utilize health equipment worth millions of rupees? Your options are A, commission game, B, government apathy, and C, lack of skilled manpower. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And it's time now for the international updates. The United States and South Korea held a joint air exercise involving U.S. strategic bombers earliar today, a day after North Korea fired a Hwasong-15 intercontinental ballistic missile in a sudden launching drill. South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff said the exercise, where South Korea's F-35A, F-15K, and U.S. F-16 fighters escorted American B-1B bombers, demonstrated the Allies' overwhelming defense capabilities and readiness posture. Japan's Fuji News Network said Japan and the United States were also likely to conduct a joint air drill as early as this afternoon. The U.S.-South Korea exercise comes a day after North Korea launched a long-range ballistic missile into the sea off Japan's west coast, following a warning of a strong response to upcoming military drills by South Korea and the United States. North Korea's state media KCNA said the country conducted a sudden launching drill yesterday in an actual proof of its efforts to turn the capacity of fatal nuclear counterattack on the hostile forces into the irresistible one. The U.S. has recently begun seeking disturbing trend lines in China's support for Russia's military, and there are signs that Beijing wants to creep up to the line of providing lethal military aid to Russia without getting caught, U.S. officials familiar with the intelligence said. The officials would not describe in detail what intelligence the U.S. has seen suggesting a recent shift in China's posture, but said U.S. officials have been concerned enough that they have shared the intelligence with allies and partners at the Munich Security Conference over the last several days. Officials said Secretary of State Antony Blinken raised the issue when he met with his Chinese counterpart Wang Yi yesterday on the sidelines of the conference. U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris also alluded to China's support for Russia during a speech in Munich. India's imports of discounted Russian oil has seen an exponential increase, driving the country's overall Russia imports up by nearly fourfold year-on-year over the past 10 months of this fiscal year, according to the latest data released by India's Ministry of Commerce and Industry. The sharp increase was due to Western sanctions against seaborne Russian oil and related oil products, which bolstered India's mass purchasing of the discounted oil, according to Russian media. Data showed from April 2022 to January 2023, the first 10-month period of India's current fiscal year, Russia became India's fourth largest import source, with a total import value of $37.31 billion, a year-on-year increase of 384%. During the 10-month fiscal period, the export volume of India's petroleum products logged $78.58 billion, compared with $50.77 billion in the same period of the previous fiscal year. India is the world's third largest oil consumer, with more than 80% of its demand relying on imports. Stylish and practical clothes made for people with disabilities took center stage on the runway at London Fashion Week on Friday. The Unhidden, a new era in fashion evening event saw around 30 models who all live with a disability, chronic condition, or visible difference take part in a catwalk show inside footwear brand Kurt Geiger's London showroom. Models were seen in floaty dresses featuring easy access around the waist, as well as colorful chiffon tie shirts with adjustable sleeves, with looks sometimes teamed with Geiger bags and shoes. Company founder and CEO Victoria Jenkins, who has reduced mobility due to multiple gastrointestinal conditions, first discovered a gap in the market for inclusive clothes in 2016 during a hospital stay when another patient raised the issue. She decided to use her previous experience as a garment technologist to set up her own brand. More than 46,000 people have been killed in the earthquake that struck Turkey and Syria, and the toll is expected to soar, with some 264,000 apartments in Turkey destroyed and many still missing as rescuers listen for signs of life under the rubble. As Turkey tries to manage its worst modern disaster, concerns are growing over the victims of the tragedy in Syria, with the World Food Programme pressuring authorities in the northwest to stop blocking access to the area as it seeks to help hundreds of thousands of people ravaged by earthquakes. The death toll in Turkey stands at 40,642 from the quake, while neighboring Syria has reported more than 5,800 deaths, a toll that has not changed for days. Pups and their owners paraded with their best disguises at a canine carnival in Rio de Janeiro during the city's carnival season. This yearly Pooch Parade attracts dogs of all shapes and sizes, dressed by their owners as everything from Minnie Mouse to superheroes, clowns, and bees. The event is named Blocao, a play on words in Portuguese combining the word bloco for street party and cow for dog. Daniel Delgado, the proud owner of 2 dogs who won prizes during the costume contest, said dogs like having their photograph taken and playing with other dogs. The parade is a favorite among many residents in the Barra da Tijuca area in Rio's west and forms part of the internationally famous annual carnival. Every year, the city fills with Brazilians and tourists from all around the world for 5 days of celebrations and elaborate parades in Rio's Sambódromo and on the streets. And that's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Good night. Have a good evening.